The 2021 season is extremely important for Jim Harbaugh and the Michigan Wolverines. Going into the season, it is still unknown who will be the starting quarterback. While the Wolverines saw the departure of Joe Milton, they added Bowman and J.J. McCarthy through the transfer portal and recruitment respectively. There's one player who remains a constant in the quarterback room and could be the Wolverines starter, at least at the beginning of the season, in Cade McNamara. But who is Cade McNamara? In the Who Is series, we go through the backstories of up-and-coming collegiate and pro athletes. If there's a player you want to see in future episodes, make sure to leave it in the comment section below. Cade McNamara was born on May 28, 2000 in the Reno, Nevada area. His brother Kyle was a Michigan wide receiver. His father Gary was an outfielder at Fresno State and went on to be an assistant baseball coach at Nevada. Growing up, Cade showed the potential to be great in both football and baseball. In 6th grade, Cade's father asked him what he wanted to be serious about. At the time, he played running back and defensive end on the football field, while on the baseball diamond he had a great fastball and was a strong defensive player. With his father's roots in baseball, many expected Cade to choose the diamond over the gridiron. Instead, not only did Cade choose to play football, he chose to play a position that up until that time he had never played beforehand. That position being quarterback. Cade told Nevada Sportsnet, "There's something different about football. I just loved football." Cade did not just want to play football, he wanted to play football at the highest level, daydreaming in middle school about the idea of playing in front of over 100,000 fans in prime time. Cade decided in 8th grade that he would finish high school a semester early to enroll at his choice of college in the spring. Early in his high school career, he spent hours on Sundays emailing different colleges with his highlights and how he could fit in their program. McNamara told Nevada Sportsnet, "Growing up, you know this isn't the most heavily recruited area. Only 4 quarterbacks from Northern Nevada had signed scholarships to play Division I football since 1970, those being Jeff Dankworth at UCLA, Bart Hendricks at Boise State, Jeff Rowe at Nevada, and Hunter Freilich, who also played at Nevada. His parents unselfishly drove him to different showcase camps while he would be mentored by high school coach Sean Dupree and quarterback coach Jordan Palmer. All that led to him being the highest rated quarterback recruit in Reno history. We are getting a little ahead of ourselves right now. Let's go back for a second. When McNamara was in 6th grade, his father took him to meet Dupree, who had recently been hired to be the head football coach at DeMonte Ranch. McNamara was zoned to Galena, but his father was going to be joining the baseball coaching staff at DeMonte Ranch, the rival high school. Gary didn't want his son attending the rival high school, so he set up a meeting with Dupree to see if moving into the DeMonte Ranch zoned area was a good idea. Cade worked out with Dupree, who pointed out a few things to fix. A few days later, Cade returned with said things fixed. Dupree told Nevada Sportsnet, "That's hard to get a high school level kids to do, much less a 6th grader. I knew he was special and he had that it factor you don't get in a lot of quarterbacks." When McNamara was in 7th grade, he started working with famous quarterback coach Jordan Palmer. Gary spoke on the situation saying, "When I took him down there in late 7th grade, Jordan was not interested in working with young kids. When he was done after those workouts, Jordan basically told me, I want to take him all the way through because I've never had a young guy pay attention like that. That was the start of us thinking, maybe this is a little more real than we thought it would be." McNamara would go on to attend DeMonte Ranch, where he would make varsity as a freshman and compete against Drake Vespi for the starting job. Vespi had earned first team All-League the year before, but McNamara would outperform him in the summer workouts. The two would split time the first 3 games of the season before Cade won the starting job. This divided the team and fans as fights broke out in the stands, and McNamara would be bullied by the older players, with it spilling over to the classroom. This was one of the lowest points of McNamara's career, and Gary thought about moving the family until Palmer calmed them down. McNamara would go on to throw for 2,042 yards, 17 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions. Going into his sophomore year, Cade was entrenched in the starting role, and the hype started to build for him. The Mustangs would lose their season opener before winning 11 straight games, playing Reed in the semifinals of the playoffs. At the time, Reed had won 5 straight regional titles and jumped out to a 31-7 halftime lead. In the first 6 minutes of the 3rd quarter, the Mustangs scored 3 times, bringing the score to 31-28. McNamara finished the game with 397 yards and 5 total touchdowns, leading the Mustangs to a 49-45 win. McNamara finished the season throwing for 3,577 yards, Nevada State record 46 touchdowns, and 11 interceptions. McNamara led his school to an 11-0 start before losing to Reed in the semifinal game his junior year. McNamara finished the season throwing for 3,470 yards, 44 touchdowns and 8 interceptions, and started collecting more Division I offers. He would become the first player from North since 2008 to be named Nevada Gatorade Player of the Year. Going into his senior year, there were a lot of expectations for McNamara. Early in the season, Cade broke his transverse process on 2 vertebrae. Not knowing he was hurt, he continued to play the following week, where he would break a rib. X-rays showed the broken rib, but the transverse process break did not show up until a CT scan revealed it. Amazingly, McNamara only missed 1 game playing the following game at less than 50%, but still throwing for 290 yards and 5 touchdowns in a 63-28 win. McNamara finished his senior year throwing for 2,995 yards, 39 touchdowns and 6 interceptions, while also having 3 rushing touchdowns on the ground. He was named Nevada Gatorade Player of the Year once again, becoming the first player in state history to win the award in back-to-back years, along with a slew of other awards while being named an Elite 11 finalist. He finished his high school career breaking the state records for passing yards with 12,804 and touchdowns with 146 touchdowns. He rewrote his high school's record book while leading the team to a 35-4 record his last 3 years at high school, at a school that had 2 winning campaigns in its first 11 years of existence. According to 24/7 Sports Composite, Cade McNamara was a 4-star recruit who was the best player in Nevada, 7th best pro-style quarterback in his class, and 268th best recruit nationally. He received over 10 different Division I offers from the likes of Alabama, Georgia, Michigan, Notre Dame, USC, and Wisconsin. His first offer came from Nevada his sophomore year. McNamara would commit to Notre Dame before his junior year after visiting South Bend, and many thought his recruitment was over. After his junior year, he started to question his commitment to Notre Dame, not feeling like it was a good fit. In March of his junior year, he decommitted from the Irish. Gary would take his son's phone away for a few days to shield him from recruiters and the backlash from Notre Dame fans on social media, which was fierce. His father asked him to choose his top 5 schools, and his final 3 would be Alabama, Michigan, and USC. USC was McNamara's dream school growing up, while Alabama is a title factory, but the team that won McNamara's talent was Michigan, committing to the Wolverines 2 weeks after his Notre Dame decommitment. McNamara would enroll early at Michigan, but did not see any playing time in 2019. In 2020, Cade competed against Joe Milton for the starting quarterback job, with Milton being named the Week 1 starter. But McNamara would still appear in 4 games, making 1 start in a down season for the Wolverines, who went 2-4. He made his career debut against Minnesota, and a few weeks later came in against Wisconsin, where he threw for his first career touchdown at Michigan. He saw relief action against Rutgers, throwing for 260 yards and 4 touchdowns, while also rushing for a touchdown in a little over a half and an overtime win. He made his first career start against Penn State on November 28th, throwing for 91 yards while completing 12 of his 25 passes in a 27-17 loss. He finished the season completing 43 of his 71 passes for 425 yards and 5 touchdowns, while not throwing a single interception. Going into the 2021 season, from a lot of different sources, McNamara is viewed as the favorite to win the job this year coming out of spring camp. He will still need to beat out Allen Bowman and JJ McCarthy, but as we've learned, Cade McNamara is not afraid of a little competition and a fight for a starting spot. It gets him excited and motivated. But what do you think? Who will be Michigan's starting quarterback in 2021? Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out my other videos in the Who Is series. Don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Let's get to 5,000 subscribers by the end of the month. And as always, remember to embrace the grind.